Okay, so I want to go into the story because it's a bit interesting to me, and I think I need to share it as well. All right, so I think, where did I find this story? It's actually a news article. It's in one of the news paper, but I can't remember which one. Okay, so the headline states, "I have a British passport, but I could be kicked out of the UK by the Home Office." Okay, so it's a young lady. She's only 41, and she's a mother of 3 children. She came to the UK from Jamaica in 2002, and she has been living in the UK since 2002. So that's over what, 22 years? Over 22 years she's been living here in the UK. She got married and she obtained her ILR and then, move on to UK citizenship. So she has UK passport. She is a British citizen. All right. So the young lady said about 2 weeks ago or some time ago, she received a letter from the Home Office. And the letter basically was threatening to strip her of her British citizenship over alleged identity fraud. Okay, so basically the Home Office wrote to her stating that they are reviewing her citizenship due to discovery or due to information that she would have committed identity fraud, meaning using someone else's identity for herself to obtain citizenship in the UK. I can only imagine how this young lady felt when she received that letter from the Home Office. And letters from the Home Office do not ask you questions. Basically, they do not ask you whether or not it is true. Okay, they would say to you, we are investigating you, or your citizenship is under review because it has been discovered that XYZ. And then it's for you now to prove to the Home Office that you have the correct information and provide that information to the Home Office. So more than likely, the letter from the Home Office will come across to you as a threat. It will come across to you as an accusation, which the young lady felt that way. So she felt that the Home Office was accusing her of identity theft. Okay, identity fraud, so to speak. All right, so the Home Office said to her that she gained citizenship under a false identity and warning her that she could be removed from the UK and sent back to her native country of Jamaica. Now, this lady's 22 years in the UK is a long time, and having 3 children here, a husband, you have family here. It's a long time. Going back to Jamaica, you're gonna start all over. You don't know much about your country. She moved here since she was 19 years old. She went to university, went to school. Actually, she's in a really good job at the moment in the UK. So can you imagine just going back to Jamaica or going back to wherever and have to start all over in a community that you don't know practically, you don't know anything about it, and having to move your children who are British back to your native country? It is going to be very, very stressful. So at the moment, she is traumatized, she's frustrated, she's very stressed. Her story, she mentioned that the letter from the Home Office contained a surname and a date of birth that was incorrect. So it doesn't match her name, her surname, and her date of birth. Okay, so it can be that it's an error on the part of the Home Office, because if the Home Office is writing to me, then the letter should contain my correct name, legal name, and my date of birth should be correct. Okay, but if you receive a letter and the date of birth is incorrect, the surname is incorrect, then it can be an error on the part of the Home Office. that letter may be not meant for you, maybe meant should have gone to someone else. However, you ended up with the letter. Anyhow, so the young lady continued to say that she wrote to the Home Office to prove her identity. So basically to say, hey, this is not me. This is my identity. This is who I am. This letter does not belong to me. I have never give false identity or false any type of fraudulent activity towards obtaining my citizenship. So she wrote to the Home Office to prove her identity with evidence. Okay. Now, she provided her birth certificate, which shows her name, her full name, her parents' name, her date of birth. On the letter from the Home Office, the date of birth was 1979, but this young lady was born in 1982. That's a vast difference, yeah? And she provided the birth certificate to show the Home Office. She also provided her brother's birth certificate. And at first I'm reading the story and I'm saying to myself, so why are you providing your brother's birth certificate? This is not about your brother, this is about you, and proving to the Home Office that your identity is not false, your identity is true. But as I read on in the story, the reason for her providing her brother's birth certificate is to basically prove that her brother was born in 1979. And therefore, if her brother was born in 1979 and she was also born in 1979, the months, the date of birth, the months will show that she was born 3 months apart from the brother. Now, common sense will say to me that how can a baby born 3 months apart? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. How can a mother have 2 children 3 months apart? It cannot add up. I can't see that happening. So that's the reason why she provided her brother's birth certificate, is to show when the brother was born, 1979, yes, she was not born 1979. She was born in 1982. So she provided those documents, and if any one of you on my life have any encounter with the Home Office, you would know that they are very, very slow on responding to queries. And some of their services have timeline and time frame, but generally they will take a while before they respond to you. So you cannot get a quick response from the Home Office. Even if you call the number and you're charged, most times you cannot get a direct contact with the Home Office. And this has been the young lady's frustration, and she's traumatized because she cannot get a direct contact with the Home Office. So can you imagine, every night she's probably sleeping thinking that I'm gonna hear a knock on my door, boom, 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 boom. We're gonna take you back to your native country in Jamaica. You do not belong here. We have evidence that your identity is false, etc. So she's living in fear, and being unable to speak to Home Office directly and to have this matter resolved quickly is causing her more stress and depression. To add to that also, she is an accountant. So we all know with professions like accounting and solicitor, you have to be square off with everything. You have to dot the I's and cross the T's. You cannot have criminal convictions. You cannot have anything pending on your name. You have to be lawful and upholding. So in this case, she is very nervous and very traumatized because she don't know what's going to happen next to her. And this is why my question came up this evening. What are your thoughts on wrongful deportation? Because let's assume that the Home Office conducts their investigation after they would have deported this lady, and the investigation reveals that her identity is true. She did not commit any identity fraud. So there are people outside of the UK being deported wrongfully. On the other hand, I support deportation. To be honest. Okay? Especially when it comes into contact with public interest and public good. I support deportation. Because my understanding is, or my philosophy is that if you come to the UK or any other country that you go to from your native country, be a law-abiding citizen. Just like you would be a law-abiding citizen in your home country or your native country. Okay? And that's just my philosophy. So, I really feel it for this young lady, just 41 years old, and is going through this situation at the moment with Home Office. And it's not going to be a quick fix. It's going to take her time to get a response from the Home Office. And just living every day, don't know when you're going to get the response. You don't know if they're going to just arrest you or anything of that sort. It's not one that you're like, it's not a situation that you would like to be in. Okay, so I just hope that things are resolved very quickly for her. I hope things are resolved very quickly for her, and the Home Office finds that she is not guilty, or she did not commit any identity fraud. So it's a very interesting story. It's a very, very interesting story. She's Jamaican born, so that's where they would want to try to send her back to. Okay, so yes, if you do anything wrong in the UK, you can be deported. All right.